Yo guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink. Today we're going to talk about slow blues guitar training, and we want to make a workout on chord variations. I'll show you what I mean. Something really simple, but give you the opportunity to do some chord variations, which are quite simple to play. Yeah, and so on. You saw the stuff is quite simple to grab, but the main task here is first of all to know where you are in the form and to know which little chord, which is extremely easy to grab, fits perfect for that specific situation. That's the main task. So it's basically happening in your mind. And I always tell my students, you know, the main thing is music. A lot of people think it happens on the fretboard. Of course it happens on the fretboard, but also in your mind. The trick is to make good music, you have the music always following in your mind. You know where you are, you know how it should sound and stuff like that. And here we're going to train this specifically on blues, and to also start to be creative while this whole thing, you know, the chord structure always passes and you always know where you are. So, of course, to do that, you need to know the chord structure. It's a standard blues in G, so we have 1 bar G, 1 bar C, 2 bars G, 2 bars C, 2 bars G, and then 1 bar D, 1 bar C, 1 bar G, 1 bar D. So that has to be, you know, you have to dream about this form that you know that just works. And then you start putting in chords into this structure, which always follows while you play. And I'm going to show you how you do that. As I already said, you need to know the form really by heart, and then you just put in the chords. We're using the standard chords as orientation. That will be G, this chord for the regular G bar A. It doesn't matter if you cannot grab it, you know, it's just as an orientation, because the other chords will be really easy to grab, but this is the orientation. We are here, so we have G, C, and D. These are the 3 chords, standard chords. Also this is standard A type C major chord, standard A type D major chord. Now we will reduce these chords to the minimum, which you probably can grab. You don't need to know the bars. We reduce this one here, the G, to just this part here, and the C to this part, and the D to this part. Now it gets way simpler. Now we reduce it even more. G, we have 2 variations. G will be like this, or like this. C will be like this, and like this. And D would be like this. This one is quite far away. You also make optional for a D. We take also this one here. Now you just fill in the form. Play these chords while the blues is playing. Let's do that. And there you have to be so flexible, learn to be so flexible that you can make variations on the chords you want to do. So we're starting with these 2 variations, this one and this. Maybe for the D also, this one here. So let's do this. We're starting with 1 bar G. Going to C, back to G. Now second bar G, we make a variation. Going to C, 2 bars, so we have time for a variation. Or opposite. Back to G. Or you can. Now we're doing D. C. To G. And last will be a D. And then the whole thing starts from the beginning. So as you notice, it's quite simple to grab. It's extremely easy to grab. The main task is that you know where you are and which are your variations you can use. And the most important thing, since it's really easy to grab, also train your ears. How does this one sound? 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 Try to figure out, while you play, try to pre-listen, pre-hear what you will play just in an instant. That's the main thing. So the easier the stuff is you have to grab on the fretboard, the more you can focus on the more important things in music, meaning hearing the music. Now we're adding a little riff, which is also kind of a variation we make. So basically we make this and this, and now we move this chord in between. We move from here to here. You can move like this if you want, but I would prefer doing this because that's easier to grab. So, and also practice the opposite, because this one is easy, because here you have the orientation on the root note, but when you start here, the opposite, you need to see it in relation to the root note. It's more complex. So also do the opposite movement. Same movement on C will be like this, and the opposite movement. And on D, same thing like this, and the opposite. No, let's do that. Back to G. Now we make the opposite. To C. The opposite. Back to G. Opposite. D, the opposite. C, the opposite. And the G we make normal. And D at the end. Yo guys, that was the slow blues guitar training, chord variations. It was quite a fast thing to show, but really take your time on this. As I said at the beginning of the video, the main task is that you always know where inside the structure you are, and the second, more important, that you pre-hear what you want to play next. That's very important. So the trick to do that, I've seen so many students, and one of my most used quote in the lessons is, sounds nice, but it doesn't make any sense. Try to make sense, and you start making sense if you pre-hear what you want to play, because then you will select the right choice and not just noodle around. You know, you get lost somewhere, then, you know, try to pre-hear and then find it, and then you build up a structure of being inside the music even from the very beginning, and that's really important, and then you don't have to do it again later. So I really recommend that. So don't underestimate this exercise here. It's really important. It makes you to learn, build structures, makes you to learn to pre-hear with simple figures, and also to enjoy what you're doing. I produced a really cool backing track for you guys. I play the Hammond organ. It's quite cool, with the Leslie. You can download that cool backing track in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. I also made the tabs of what I just showed, some examples. If it was too fast for you, you can read it there. It's also available in Guitar Pro. So please join the HPCrazy Guitar Academy, become a premium member, and please also share to the world that me and Dr. Pink are existing, and blah, 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 blah. See you guys.